Deep in the heart of Alabama, hidden creatures have shaped legends for generations, mysterious beings that remain a source of fascination. In this video, through breathtaking animation, we're reviving 6 incredible tales from Alabama's folklore. Number 1. Huggin Molly. On the quiet, misty nights in Abbeville, Alabama, a chilling legend lingers in the air. Locals tell the tale of Huggin Molly, a ghostly figure who roams the darkened streets in search of those who dare to walk alone. The tale has been whispered for generations, her name sending shivers down the spines of children and adults alike. Some say she is a protector, while others insist she is something far more terrifying. Huggin Molly is described as an enormously tall woman, towering well above ordinary folks, draped in black with a wide-brimmed hat that shadows her face. Her presence is said to be cold and unsettling, and her footsteps can be heard echoing through the silence of the night. Some claim to have seen her reach out with her long, thin arms, determined to embrace anyone unfortunate enough to cross her path. But it's not just the hug that makes Huggin Molly infamous. Legend has it that once she grabs hold of her victim, she screams into their ear with a blood-curdling wail. The sound is said to be so piercing that it leaves her victim dazed and terrified, their heart racing long after she vanishes into the darkness. Yet strangely, she never harms anyone. She only terrifies them before letting them go. Locals have tried to explain who or what Huggin Molly might have been. Some believe she was a grieving mother who lost her child and now wanders the night, searching for someone to fill the empty space in her arms. Others think she is a warning spirit, her frightful embraces meant to keep children away from danger. Whatever the truth may be, the mystery only adds to the eerie legend. Despite the fear she inspires, Huggin Molly has also become a symbol of Abbeville's history. There's even a restaurant named after her in town, serving up delicious food while proudly embracing the local folklore. The legend has become a point of pride for the community, something that draws visitors curious to see if the ghostly woman might still be lurking around. Number 2. The White Thing. Deep within the tangled forests and rugged hills of northern Alabama, locals whisper about a creature that defies explanation. It is known simply as the White Thing, a strange and ghostly beast that has puzzled and frightened people for generations. Spanning counties like Winston, Cullman, and Morgan, the creature's legend continues to grow, its name passed down from grandparents to grandchildren, like a cautionary tale. Descriptions of the White Thing are as eerie as they are varied. Witnesses claim it stands over 7 feet tall, covered in shaggy white fur that gleams like snow in the moonlight. Some say it resembles a massive wolf or bear, while others insist it moves like a human, walking upright with a strange, loping gait. Its eyes, sharp and glowing, are said to pierce through the darkness like burning embers. The creature is not just seen, it is often heard before it is ever spotted. Many describe a haunting, high-pitched scream, almost like a woman's cry, echoing through the thick woods. Others have reported growls so deep and menacing that they rattle the ground itself. For some, the chilling sound alone is enough to make them steer clear of the forests at night. But the White Thing is not just known for its frightening appearance. Many who encounter it describe it as almost playful or curious, appearing and vanishing like a ghost. Despite its terrifying cries, there are no stories of it ever harming anyone. Some believe it to be a gentle guardian of the wild, misunderstood and feared simply because it is so unlike anything else in Alabama's wilderness. Legends of the White Thing go back for decades, with sightings reported from the 1930s to the present day. Farmers speak of seeing it lurking near their livestock, only for the creature to vanish before it can be chased away. Hikers and hunters have shared tales of stumbling upon its footprints, impossibly large and deep, pressed into the soft earth. Number 3. The Alabama Metal Man. One dark night in Falkville, Alabama, 1973, a police chief was on patrol when he received a panicked call. A local woman reported seeing a strange creature lurking near her home. Curious and cautious, the police officer decided to investigate. It was almost midnight when he drove down the dusty rural road, his headlights slicing through the chilly darkness. As the police officer approached the area, his flashlight beam caught something he never expected to see. Standing in the middle of the road was a bizarre, metallic figure. The creature appeared to be man-sized and humanoid, but its entire body shimmered as if covered in some sort of shiny, silvery metal. Its movements were jerky and unnatural, like a mechanical puppet clumsily trying to mimic human motion. Startled but determined to capture proof of what he was seeing, the police officer quickly grabbed his Polaroid camera and snapped a series of photos. The creature didn't react. It just continued to move strangely, glinting in the light, like a man made of polished chrome. But the oddest part was the way it moved, not walking, but almost gliding across the ground. Deciding to get a closer look, the police officer drove toward the metal man. To his shock, the creature suddenly took off, sprinting with incredible speed. The police chief hit the gas, but even at speeds of 35 miles per hour, he couldn't catch up. The creature dashed off into the darkness, vanishing into the night like a ghost made of steel. When the police officer shared his story and photographs, the small town of Falkville buzzed with rumors and excitement. Some believed the creature was an alien visitor, clad in a suit of futuristic armor. Others speculated it was a government experiment gone wrong. Decades later, the mystery of the Alabama Metal Man remains unsolved. Those old photographs still exist, grainy, but unmistakably showing a figure like nothing else on Earth. To this day, locals share the tale around campfires, their voices lowering to whispers when describing the creature's silvery form slipping through the dark. Is it a hoax, a visitor from another world, or something else entirely? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain. The legend of the Alabama Metal Man has left its mark on the state's folklore, shimmering like silver in the shadows. Number 4. The Wolfwoman of Mobile. Back in the 1940s, residents of Mobile, Alabama found themselves gripped by fear and fascination. Stories began to spread about a creature lurking in the shadows, stalking the edges of town with glowing eyes and a chilling howl. They called it the Wolfwoman of Mobile, a beast unlike anything they had ever seen. Eyewitnesses described the creature as having the body of a woman but the head of a wolf. It was said to be covered in shaggy, matted fur with sharp claws and a growl that rattled windows. Some swore they saw her stalking the outskirts of Mobile, her eyes flashing in the darkness like twin lanterns. As the reports grew, so did the panic. Newspapers published articles about the sightings, fanning the flames of fear. Brave souls gathered to hunt the creature, but the Wolfwoman was clever. She vanished before anyone could get close, leaving only strange tracks in the mud and the echo of her haunting howl. Despite the terror, some couldn't help but be intrigued. Was the Wolfwoman a shapeshifter from old legends, or perhaps a cursed soul doomed to prowl the night? Some believed she was a witch who had been punished by dark magic, while others claimed she was a lost spirit searching for something she could never find. Days turned into weeks, and the sightings continued. Some claimed to hear her howls in the middle of the night, mournful and lonely. Others spotted her silhouette darting between the trees, always just out of reach. But despite all the reports, no one could ever catch her or explain where she came from. As the years passed, the Wolfwoman of Mobile became more of a whispered tale than a genuine terror. Parents would tell their children the story, warning them to stay indoors at night. Some even claimed to have encountered her, sharing their experiences around campfires with wide eyes and nervous smiles. Today, the legend of the Wolfwoman of Mobile remains alive in Alabama's folklore. Some say she still roams the woods, howling at the moon, waiting for something or someone. Number 5. The Lizard Man of Alabama. In the quiet swamps and thick forests of rural Alabama, whispers of a strange creature have drifted from town to town. People call it the Lizard Man, a scaly reptilian beast said to prowl the dark, marshy waters and dense woods. Tales of the creature go back decades, often told by hunters, campers, and those daring enough to wander too deep into the wild. The Lizard Man is described as standing nearly 7 feet tall, with green, scaly skin glistening like a snake under the moonlight. Its eyes are said to glow a fierce yellow, and its fingers end in sharp claws that could shred bark from trees with a single swipe. Some say its tail swishes through the mud as it moves, leaving twisted tracks in the soft earth. Sightings of the Lizard Man seem to spike in the heat of summer, when the swamps are thick with fog and the air feels heavy. It was during one such sticky night in the 1980s that a local man claimed to have encountered the beast near Escambia County. According to his account, the creature emerged from the trees, hissing and snarling as if defending its territory. The local man ran, his boots pounding against the wet ground, heart racing as he swore he heard the Lizard Man's raspy breath following close behind. The local news picked up his story, and soon more reports started pouring in from across Alabama. Farmers found livestock mauled and strange, clawed footprints left behind. Others reported hearing low growls drifting through the night air. Some folks dismissed the creature as nothing more than a myth, a tale spun by nervous hunters and campers who had stayed out a little too late. But the evidence kept coming. Photographs of scratches carved deep into trees, muddy footprints larger than any man's, and sightings by those who had nothing to gain from sharing their frightening experiences. As the years went by, the stories became part of the local folklore. Children dared each other to wander the woods alone at night, whispering about the Lizard Man with equal parts terror and excitement. No one knew if the creature was real, but everyone seemed to know someone who had seen it or heard its chilling roar. Number 6. The Steamboat Phantom. In the misty waters of the Alabama River, a ghostly legend drifts through the fog, leaving shivers in its wake. Locals call it the Steamboat Phantom, a mysterious vessel said to appear on the river under the cover of darkness, its ghostly whistle cutting through the still night air. The legend has been whispered along the riverbanks for generations, drawing curious souls to the water's edge, hoping to catch a glimpse of the eerie apparition. The story begins in the late 1800s, when steamboats were the lifeblood of Alabama's river trade. It is said that one fateful night, a luxurious steamboat named the Eliza Battle met a tragic end during a fierce winter storm. The boat, loaded with cotton and passengers, was making its way down the Tombigbee River when fire broke out aboard. With high winds feeding the flames, the boat was quickly engulfed. Passengers leaped into the freezing water, desperately trying to escape the blazing inferno. Many perished that night, their voices swallowed by the icy currents. The charred remains of the Eliza Battle sank to the riverbed, but according to legend, it did not rest peacefully. Soon after the tragedy, people began to report strange sightings along the river. Fishermen spoke of seeing a grand steamboat floating past, its elegant decks illuminated by an otherworldly glow. The phantom steamboat appears most often on stormy nights, its faint whistle echoing through the thunder. Some claim to have seen figures standing on the decks, their faces pale and their clothing drenched, as if reliving their last moments over and over. Others say the boat's paddle wheel churns the water without making a single sound, its ghostly wake leaving no trace behind. Riverside towns like Demopolis and Mobile have long passed down the tale, warning travelers to be wary of the river on nights when the sky is dark and the air feels thick with moisture. The ghostly steamboat, they say, is a harbinger of disaster, appearing only before terrible floods or other tragedies. To spot it is considered both a curse and a warning. Yet there are those who seek out the Steamboat Phantom on purpose, curious thrill seekers hoping to capture proof of the spectral vessel. Few succeed, but the legend remains strong, its roots entwined with Alabama's history and the old rivers that cut through the state like veins. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.